confidence in employment and investment that are going on. It could be that we see a rising plane of forecasts through that period. That would be positive. It doesn't all flow automatically into more cash for governments to spend.
So just to be clear, are you saying that the profits from the asset sales won't scrape over the $5 billion mark now? That will be revised down?
No, I'm just saying there will be a revised, the current estimate on the books is 5 to 7 billion, and they just use the midpoint figure, okay, of 6 billion. There will be an updated estimate, okay, and that will be announced in the half-year update. The biggest difference is the absence of solid energy. That's the biggest single factor.
ACC in its annual result did better than forecasts, and also did better in terms of what it was forecast to contribute to the OBGAR. Can we expect that the others, like New Zealand Super, for the reasons you just outlined a few moments ago, will have a negative effect?
They could have. Look, there's a whole lot of different. You take something like ACC, there's their insurance expenses, and then there's their liability unwind. It's a nightmare of complexity and detail. But the fact that you've got a growing economy doesn't guarantee that their impact on the books is positive. Partly because the way actuaries make assumptions, economic forecasters make assumptions, and if, for instance, I use the example about student loans, where they, despite the fact the economy is growing, they're revising their assumption about the growth of incomes of student borrowers, and that can give you plus or minus a couple of $100 million easy. So the same sorts of things go on with ACC, the same sorts of things go on with all the Canterbury insurance liabilities. And compared to our target, they're quite large influences. I guess that's my point. We're not talking about 50 million up against a surplus of 100 million. We're talking about hundreds of millions either way up against that surplus.
In your summary of the 5 years, you didn't mention the external sector, the current account deficit, and whether there's been improvement in the export share of the economy. Do you think that's the one disappointment of that 5 years?
I wouldn't say it's a disappointment. It's a reality that in particular, the US economy has not recovered in the way that people might have expected 5 or 6 years ago. That's meant that our dollar relative to theirs has been high, and that's been a headwind for the growth of the export sector. And our response to that has been to focus on competitiveness. And I think if you look back, that's been pretty successful, because we've got export growth despite the fact that it's an 80+ cents US dollar, and has been for 5 or 6 years. If we really want to rebalance the economy much further, we will need the US economy to recover, the US dollar to pick up, and give our exporters a bit more profitability. Now, just figures in the last day show that effect. US payroll is better than expected, the US dollar's up a bit. They're talking about tapering in December, where previously there's been discussion it wouldn't be tapering until 2016, 2017. It's quite unpredictable, but in the long run, we believe, well, I believe, and it's just a belief that the US dollar will strengthen sometime, and that our export sector will be in a very good position to take advantage of that.
Are you prepared to cut spending a little bit, impose more cuts so that you do get to surplus to overwhelm these financial accounting changes that might have?
We think it's quite important to get to surplus, very important, just as a waypost of success, and an indicator that the people can have the confidence that the government's books are under control. But we don't imagine significant service cuts to achieve that. I think we've shown that we are able to make progress in pretty sensible and moderate ways without cutting service to the public. The public regard public services more favourably than they did 5 or 6 years ago, and we want to keep that going.
One direct way that ACC does affect the balance is in terms of the levies that are collected. you indicated earlier this year that maybe $300 million worth of cuts might be in the pipeline. ACC has recommended much deeper cuts than that. You're currently considering its recommendations at the moment. Can we expect that it's likely to be more like the $300 million or even less than that if the getting back to surplus is so important to you?
Well, we've in the process of considering it, so we'll let you know where we get to. But you know, the government's surplus track is a bit of a constraint on the extent to which, on the speed at which you can reduce ACC levies. Bear in mind here they're reduced by, and the way they impact on the books is quite complicated because of all the actuarial elements. So a reduction in levies, you know, just by way of illustration of $10 can have a $15 to $20 impact on our books. So we pay quite a bit of attention to that. But that's against the background where we've now had 2 years of levy reductions, and we would imagine a series of further levy reductions out over the next 2 or 3 years. It's really just a matter of the speed at which they occur.
Can I ask the same question in a slightly different way? What's more important, returning to surplus or ensuring that New Zealand households and businesses retain as much of the money that they earn as possible in order that they can pay down debt, invest, and all those other good things that come from having that extra money?
Both of those things are very important, and it's our job to find the balance.
You're not gonna-
Okay. Thanks, Rob. So